lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, the pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
It's never easy to lose a friend. It's never easy to lose one of our loved ones. But if there's one thing the racing community can always say that we celebrate in our hearts, is we do not give up on any of our friends or our family we've raced with and cherished memories with. Tonight, we honor the late great Jay Cook in this race down here at Michigan International Speedway. Hi again, everyone. I am Christian the Caceres driver. Welcome back to the show. As always, I greet you here on the show, on the channel here, as I look high above here at Michigan International Speedway and our drivers lineup here tonight to present to you the memorial race of Jay Cook and his friends and family watching on from all around us here in PT Race TV and everyone here. We thank you and honor you and appreciate you here tonight. It is time to get down here in Brooklyn, Michigan and get to the racing in loving memory of Jay Cook. Here's how we look at our track here tonight. We are on the D-shaped style configuration of Michigan International Speedway. This is 2 miles in length of a track-wise. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for these 13 Cup drivers here in the Gen 6 eras. They're going to be really playing out more towards the outside in the middle, but they'll be really fighting off on the bottom lane here. That'll be where you're going to see most of the runs off. You're going to get a lot of speed in corners, entries here. So there's a lot of moves and a lot of backing here on this track. It's going to take a lot of maneuvering to really make the best of it. We're about to see just how much they can do here as we're about to get settled in here as our starting lineup here tonight. On the pole, we'll see the 97 of Brock Savalti. And it has outside, it's going to be the 44. That is John Nobinger. Row number 2 is going to be Willie Everham there in the 19. It is outside. That's the 7 of Ricky Gonzalez. Row number 3 is going to be Wes Fuller, and the 35 is outside. That's the 99. That is Kevin Fuller. That's Kevin Foster, excuse me. Row number 4 is going to be Mark Gonzalez in the 88. That is outside. That's Patrick Cooney in the 801. Row number 5 is going to be Dylan McDonald there in the 38. Is outside. That's the 23 of Joshua Biltler. Row number 6 is going to be Chris Hupka, and the number 5 is outside. That's Gene Cato in the number 2. And your final starter here tonight, from the number 51, it is Derek Sherman. Field is ready. Drivers are set. There's just one thing left to do. Fire them up, boys. Head to the track. It's time to honor one of our fallen brothers, our fallen friends, a fellow driver, a fellow family member. It is time to honor the late, great Jay Cook in this race. 100 laps to the distance at Michigan International Speedway. Drivers preparing to lock horns, getting onto the track now. They will race off onto the they'll turn in turn 1 and number 2. Then they will send it on down to the front straightaway where they'll let them loose and let them at it. If you are just tuning in for the first time here on PT Race TV, we only ask this of you tonight. We've always asked if you like, share, and subscribe, but in this case, we do not ask if you subscribe. We just wish that you share the stream around and let the comment section down below, let these boys know, let the families know as well that he is not forgotten. That these drivers have made an incredible effort to do this here, to do everything they can in their power to have themselves a race in honor of their fallen brothers, their fallen family members. Try to enjoy themselves here tonight, obviously, and pull off a great 100-lap battle. It's gonna be a lot of hard racing out here, a lot of big battles coming their way here. You'll see that you'll see a lot of these guys with that you'll see a lot of them with that tag on there. You'll see it all the way around the track. Keep your eyes peeled, keep your eyes on the prize. The drivers now initiate real quick into a 3-wide salute in honor of their fallen friend. They'll line them off down the start here, the front straightaway. Everyone getting into position, getting into their track race. I guess there's nothing better left to do than to get racing here, boys. On the start, Brock Savalti in the 97 takes the early advantage here. The 7 of Ricky Gonzalez early on with the lead, while Joshua Billiter right now trying to catch up with them. Billiter, I'm hoping I'm saying his last name right as well, trying to get up there with the field, trying to make the move off on Gonzalez there. Willie Everham, though, in the 19 machine, starting to cave in, start to push a little bit off the start. Everyone looking for positions early. Remember, 100 laps to the distance. Fuel and tires are going to really play a big advantage here. They're going to be a big disadvantage for those that are not playing into the smart strategy here. Whereas the really smart strategy, well, it all depends on your driving style. Some guys like to run the middle, some like to go to the bottom. There are multiple angles here at Michigan International Speedway to hit. But the name of the game tonight is going to always be how well can you manage the nerves, how well can you manage these cars on the track. As we go on board here with Wes Fuller, the number 35, currently he moves it into 6th place here, trying to gain up with the field. Got a little bit of a Kansas City Chiefs vibe going on there. Some of these designs on the helmet and the suits, man, I tell you one thing, you cannot like change anything other than just the absolute creativity that comes with it. And speaking of creativity, out of turn number 2, 3 wide salute engaged. Willie Everham, Joshua Builder, and Mr. Brock Savalti all engaged on that. Ricky Gonzalez still managing to take away the race lead from all of them here. Savalti's going to have a little bit of work to do to catch right back into this one here as the field starts to continue to pace their way around. On board there with Kevin Foster, the number 8 machine. Usually you arrive in the 99, but tonight he'll be in the old 8. He'll be in that old 8 today. A little bit of a problem down there for Zavalti. Looks like the glitchcraft for Gremlin's trying to take him over here. Patrick Orsham coming on board here tonight saying Rux Zavalti, LMAO. You guys probably know what that means. I don't know where that came from. I think he did some kind of funny there on his end. I don't know. I didn't really catch it. Letting it back on board here. Westport for a minute as you see the 88. Oh, Mark Gonzalez marching the field down in, trying to put the Legacy Power 88 machine up ahead of him. Firing them off on the bottom lane here. You can see West trying to hold the middle ground, the outside ground as well now because the 8, that being Kevin Foster, a little bit of a problem zone, but there's more trouble coming off out of turn 2. Once again, turn 2 engages some problematic zones here for these drivers. West Fuller, Gonzalez, and Everham all involved. Turn 2 is not a spot you want to find yourself in. It's not a place you want to get yourself stuck into, and unfortunately, it happened here. We'll take a look at the PTM instant replay. Looks like maybe a slight error on the 19. Yep, goes up into the wall protection, gets into the 8, but the 88 is the one that gets the worst of it. Everyone trying to evade and avoid, but it did not work that well, and it was like a bumper car out there, just could not get out of that mess in time, and unfortunately Everham just could not secure the car and secure it away from trouble zone, and it found him in this case. Take one more look at it from our PTM instant replay here, see if we can get a good look from our roll cage here. Take a look right now here, right at the moment. Looks like they're having some troubles down there, fidgeting around with that camera. Here we go, looks like they got it fixed. See right there, he gets into that wall, he's trying to get out of there, but he ends up just catching the 88, and then, well, you can see he was not too thrilled about having to flip around like that a little bit. That's like the worst end to be at, and to say the least, you just never want to deal with that or even be anywhere near it, but it can happen from time to time. Driver's heading into pit road here, so we'll see how that affects the field. Joshua Billiter and Kevin Foster, Patrick Cooney, Derek Sherman, Chris Kupka, Mark Gonzalez, Wes Fuller, and Willie Everham all heading into pit road in this case. Dylan McDonald, the 38, and John Nobinger trying to gain their lap back on the lead lap here. They found themselves in a bit of a tough spot early on. While Brock Savalti and Ricky Gonzalez in the 7 are currently our leaders here, with Gene Cato now moving up in the hard charge of the night, to say the least, 12 spots up from the field. He pilots the number 2 machine, obviously in memory of Jake Cook. You see that logo that you have on your screen right now. Same thing you see there on the number 2's front end here. A lot of cool, a lot of awesome designs out there. This one definitely kind of sticking out in my opinion. It's kind of kind of hard to see from that angle, but the way it looks to me, it looks almost like kind of a mix between the local fire department style designs with the mix of the U.S. military schemes in there. I like it. It's got that awesome black, sick red machine with that little skull on the hat there on the side. Beautiful looking design. Yeah, of course, that Seven Cities of Chevrolet City, if you will, of Ricky Gonzalez. I think we all know the story to that one. Days of Thunder vibes right there. And they got a little bit of a looks like got a little college campus on that one. I'm not sure. We're going to take a look at that here. Oh no, that's not college. That's the Mass. That looks like the Michigan car care there, Kevin Foster. Bruce, can you give me a closer look at that one, please? Oh, thank you. Yeah, Massey Car Care. Over the 99. Gotta love when those you gotta love it when the producers actually listen and they actually find a way to get the camera system working down there. So our field, getting ready to double file and back up. This one's gonna definitely be a big pace coming up now. Everybody ready to fire and back off and get ready to strike this one in again. Some hard drivers in here we've seen before here. Obviously, Brock Savalti is one of them. We've known him all too well around these parts. He knows how to run with the best of them. He knows how to play it in all day long. We'll see if he can continue that up and fight it in with the best. Chris Hupka, good to see him back on PT Racing TV. Been a while since we've seen the Kellogg's number 5 machine. He's been one of those guys that kind of sucked in from the beginning, and he's kind of been there since the very end of it, and so far kind of hanging around us really still. It's good to see him back. Dylan McDonald there in the 38. I believe we've seen him before here. John Nobinger, the 44. I think this is the first time we've ever seen him on PT Racing TV. We'll see if they can pilot that old Army machine up to the front here. It's kind of got a little bit of a navy green and black to that design. I like it. Simple and easy. But as we know around here, there ain't nothing easy about trying to win when you're trying to beat the best. Off a corner turn 4, we're going to see him rile him off and fire him back in to the green flag we charge. Eight laps completed now here, still a good 10th of the way to go. Really 9/10 of the way to go, I should say, only a 10th completed. On the outskirts here, turn number 1 down into turn number 2. Here are the 5, Chris Hupka and Patrick Cooney. Gonna dish out a little bit of a run here, coming off that front straightaway. Watch out for Ricky Gonzalez here. He's got a movement on the bottom. Well, Gene Cato stays up top, outside line. Joshua Billiter now as well, making his way in here, and right up top there you see the 8 of Kevin Foster. Looking to do much of the same here as he starts to make the charge back in as we go on board with him. Staying up top, outside line here. Gonzalez trying to hang in there outside. 3 wide salute. Everyone comes out clean this time. No one smacking the wall and getting into trouble. Gene Cato seeing all sorts of speeds carried in there. Great momentum, a great runoff from everybody, keeping it very clean and precious. Coming right around now, down out of the front straightaway here, down the corner center of the D-shaped configuration. You can see now there's a little bit of movement back here from Mark Gonzalez and Chris Hupka. Both drivers now making their way in. You're going to see us a lot here today where a lot of these guys are trying to find openings. They're trying to find momentum boosts and some runs here to kind of make way and make past each other. But the thing is, 3 wide salutes are extremely common here. They go like bread and butter here in Martinsville. You get so much speed, so much runoff. And with this ground and track so wide open, you really can actually kind of keep these things more in of a pack hunt, kind of a fight out, if you will, and it makes for some great racing. Many fans today have kind of noted, unfortunately, Michigan is not the same as it used to be, but I can tell you one thing, that it still can perform and give us some great moments like you see right now. Most of that, though, I would blame on the repave here. Obviously, the repave kind of did a lot of tracks in Texas Motor Speedway, even though I'm not a huge fan of that one. That's one that I will say kind of got done in wrong. But Michigan definitely, I would say, got the worst end of it when it came to tracks literally just kind of being put on the banner of not having as much speed and fun times of racing wise, if you will, without a little bit of that aero dependency. The restarts wise, they always were good, but it seems like ever since then they now haven't been the same. Thankfully here tonight, I believe we are rocking it towards on the regular, I think we were rocking it on the old school Michigan track here tonight. The new school, kind of a little bit harder to figure out, so Legacy Michigan is what they refer to it as. And you can see just how much runs everyone's getting. It's extremely close corner racing and good battles here. Everyone making moves left and right. Kevin Foster, your new leader, and I think that makes now our third or fourth lead change of the night already. Whoa, a little bit of contact made there though from Patrick Cooney in the 0-1 on the inside there at the 38, and Dylan McDonald. Dylan nearly again set up to the back end of the stretch and back up to the corner and does not want to go to that wall protection, that's for sure. That's a bad omen. You don't want to go anywhere near it, my friend. Back on board here with Gonzalez here as he tries to cane up onto McDonald. McDonald here. Driven up so slightly to the outside wall. Remember what I said earlier on about that turn 2 being extremely easy to make a mistake on or get yourself into trouble with. You saw earlier though with the Willie Everham and them. What happened was they got a little too far up there, and there's kind of a flat spot coming out of that corner exit. Whereas if you just drive in a little too hard and a little too badly without turning back into the corner, it unfortunately will end up tightening up and knocking you a little bit silly here. So far, so good for our drivers. Nobody making too big of mistakes here to our onboard of Patrick Cooney here, and as he is up 3 spots here, the Chevrolets currently being outwitted by the Fords. Oh my, hold on. Boy, what a camera angle there, but what the heck happened here? Mark Gonzalez, the 88, coming to a scratching halt. Brock Savalti as well, oh my. We were on board there with Patrick Cooney for a little bit. Next thing we know, there's a huge wreck insisting. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay here, and I'm not really sure where to begin with this one other than we don't even know what happened. I just know we were looking at that camera angle. Next thing you know, we got a car in front of us. Where's our look at it? Came right out of turn 2. Oh, there it is again, that flat spot turn 2. And this time Gonzalez hits it badly here. Gets himself into a bit of trouble. Oh, man. Smashed the wall in completely. And you can see 2 other guys getting involved. That was Savalti. And I believe... I think I saw the 19 that might have been, yeah, that was, looks like that was Everham once again. We'll take one more look at it here and see what transpired with those 2 though, because I'm not really sure where that hole started at. The Coastal Pacific 97 just kind of drove it in pretty hard. Had a pretty good line here. It was a little 3-wide salute, and so both were good here. But then, unfortunately, they were trying to stay away from the wreckage, and instead they forgot they have guys in front of them. And Savalti ended up, suffice it to say, did not get out of that one. Ended up on the receiving end. Unfortunately, what a tough break there for that 97 crew as the rest of the field kind of heads on in for pit road strategies and fix-ups here. Might have some technical difficulties here tonight, folks, so be well aware of that. So, divisive to say, caution comes out here with the number 8, of Kevin Foster. So he'll take the Massian Car Care 8 up ahead here with Chris Hupka and the number 5 Kellogg's Machine fighting back in, and then the City Chevrolet of Ricky Gonzalez rounding out your top 3 out of pit road. John Nobinger now is going to be kind of in the hunt, getting himself into a pretty good spot. He'll move up into the 5th place area, although he qualified 2nd here tonight. Still a long ways away from the top spot, but again, he may just be saving his tires, maybe saving himself out here a little bit, not wanting to find himself on the receiving end too many times this track. It's divisive to say, Michigan International Speedway can be a little bit tough to endure and conquer with. It's a lot of guys out here that want to try to knock him off that cliff, try to knock him down on that spot. It's going to be interesting to see if that happens here. Driver's getting ready to bring him back under control, back into proverbial positions. Field backing them up, ready to go at it yet again. The racing never ends around these parts, and neither do we. We're going to get back to the action here in just a moment. They double file them up. Savalti and Gonzalez right now, both kind of faulting in a bad place. Gonzalez actually calling it a night already. Derek Sherman, the 51, will be behind Savalti, although that may seem like he has the better track position. Sherman actually is ahead still of Savalti in the amount of laps that they've been doing on the track, so we'll see if Brock can end up getting a little bit more speed around here and get himself a little chance here. On to the green flag once again here on the start. 19 laps completed so far, and now more to go. Things just get a little more crazier as we play them out, obviously, because again, a lot of these drivers are driving with their hearts, driving with their minds at bay. They can only think about one thing, and that's trying to outdo themselves and outdo the track. Kevin Foster, actually, you get a good glimpse of what he's up to right now. You can see him marching all over the place. Now, to many fans out there, they may think like, oh, what is he doing? He's just like jumping around. Like, he can't be doing that. It's like, no, what he actually is doing is he's trying to evade the line of the draft. The draft is what's building these guys up so quickly and getting them so fast up to the front. You can see right here, it's kind of like a plate track mindset. But the only thing is, on 2 miles of length, you don't have that necessarily speeds like you would at Daytona or Talladega, where you can just pretty much stay on the throttle. This is a whole different ball game. You do have to lift in these corners. You do have to kind of center them off a little bit. And they do get very tricky. You find yourself in a little bit of a bad omen every now and then if you're not careful. But these drivers are very well aware of that. They're very well intensified by what can be created here. Noah Banger up on the outside here. You see him run off on Dylan McDonald. McDonald trying to get him back up onto him here. We'll go on board. Boy, take a look at that left side too. You can see there is damage already done up onto that 38. As McDonald right now currently moving back down in 8th place, but he is up 1 spot. Well, I guess I'm going to change that because he's going to go back to where he started in qualifying back in the night. Got sent back up to the wall after that little tag from the 2. Meanwhile, right up ahead of him here, you got a little bit of movement coming up to the front. 0-1 of Patrick Cooney right now making his way in with the 7 of Ricky Gonzalez up on the outside. Down below they go, though. The 484 John Nobinger here trying to make a statement, trying to make a showcase for himself. Lining him back in here. Wes Fuller, the 35, moving up top. Looks like he says, hey, guys, I like the top shelf a little more than I do that bottom. Maybe this one will have any more speed. Well, as I said earlier, you got multiple angles to work with, but it seems as though those that are going to win and survive are those that fall in line with the draft. The draft seems to be key. It seems to be the king right now to helping them out. Right now I'm out turn 2. Once again, that flat spot kind of getting a few of these guys kind of ruffled up a few feathers here. It's not a smooth reaction coming off that exit. It's really more of like what you call turn 1 and turn 3 and 4. The problem with it is, again, you're literally going towards the flat bankings of the backstretch, which allows you to get so much speed and draft. Whereas when you're going into, like, say, Talladega or Daytona, instead of that real big flat spot that comes off that corner, what it is basically kind of more of a kind of more smoothed and down ridge, if you will. It's basically, instead of you're going flat, it's kind of you're driving in a little more on a banked surface. And that's what's helping the cars get around the track much easier and simpler. Now, for IndyCar, they don't really have to worry about that issue on the flat spots because, again, they're so low to the ground. They can actually just kind of run the great high speeds and still manage to make themselves really tighten in the corners better. But again, when you're driving about 2 tons of a piece of equipment, good luck with that. That's why you need those bankings, you need those ridge areas for these cars to stay more in place, more on line. Punching it down, round out of turn 3 and 4, up on the low end. Here comes Ricky Gonzalez, the number 7 now, making his way in. The City Chevrolet was looking for an opening, couldn't find it. Right up ahead as well, Chris Hupka, the number 5 now, making his presence felt. He's telling the 0-1 here, Patrick Cooney as well. The 35 of Wes Fuller. Hey, I'm still in it, boys, but I don't think the same can be said for Wes here. Crashes it down out of turn 2. Whoa. Nearly avoiding mayhem while he was at it there. I don't know if Nationwide was on his side, but thankfully at least he is okay, so the car will work all right. Take a look at this. Again, this is just how close this can get to one another. Again, bumping and banging is the tradition of fenders of racing, but this right here is a bit of a troublesome spot here. This is where you're kind of mixing in the speeds and power of a 2-ton beast, while also dealing with the added speeds of over 190 miles per hour in through a turn. And unfortunately for us, Fuller, he just kind of found himself on the receiving end of that here. We'll go on board here with him. Take a close look here. You're going to see Cooney kind of entering into the frame. You can see him kind of getting nice, all comfortable. Thinks he is pretty clear, pretty good, and then that little toe tap, and you can see he's already trying to save it. He felt the whole car just completely give out. One of the best ways to know you're about ready to spin or you're about ready to crash out is when the wheel just goes completely blank, is the best way I can explain it. It just feels like nothing is there. That means 2 things. Number 1, you've lost feedback, or number 2, which is most of the time, you've lost control. And that's when everything kind of goes haywire as you see everyone heading into pit road. Makes you wonder what they're going to do here, what they'll take. They'll take obviously tires and fuel, but will they have anything left when it's said and done? To those that are tuning in right now with us, first off, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know I usually say like, follow, subscribe here on PT Race TV here. We're not just on YouTube and Facebook, but tonight again I'm not really gonna be doing any of that. All I really ask of you guys at home, if you would, just send a comment down below saying hashtag remember Jay Cook. I think that's really all I ask you. These boys, these drivers, they're fans and friends and family of Jay. Definitely could love every minute of it. But nevertheless, always appreciate you guys tuning in. Always love hearing from you, seeing you. These broadcasts would not be any fun without you fans and everyone that tunes into these shows. And obviously the drivers, they make it all worthwhile. But we said it once, we'll say it again. The life and blood of our sport is because of the people. We will live by the people. We will die by the people. That is the way we go about it. So as our field gets ready to strap them back in here right now, everyone looking to try and get a little bit of a monarch, or a little bit of a different control base here. Things have been a little bit all over the place here on the first half. Obviously, a lot of guys struggling to keep in the packs, kind of stay out of trouble, while those that end up marching towards the front end up making some big moves when they feel like it. Marching their way around now, downtown we go. Dylan McDonaldson to the front, then to the back. Gotta love it. Yeah, Dylan, it's racing, I'll tell you that much. But hey, right now he is currently marching in the middle pack here, so we'll see if he can keep it going. He's got a lot of momentum building up here. I gotta hold on a minute. Is he driving some kind of thing that says Coco Chameleon? Coco Chameleon? Is that what it says? Coco Melon? I honestly cannot for the life of me spell that. I think that's Coco Melon if that's what he's got on his car there. Well, that's all I got to say about that. We're back to the action here down on the front straightaway. We're firing them back off. Ride them high, fly them down. Coming out of turn 1 through turn 2, they go. It is Joshua Billeter right now with the race lead. Number 23 taking full advantage, while the number 8 of Kevin Foster trying to defrost the heat and the momentum coming up from ahead. Down low he goes, looking for the lead. Side by side, they push each other down out of turn 3 and 4. Huge drop off going up to the bottom, to the top. Takes over the race lead once again. Foster has the advantage. John Nobinger, the number 44, kind of changed some ground up on Dylan McDonald. McDonald trying to keep ahead of the field, trying to keep in pace and in touch with this run. Gene Cato right now, the onboard camera here, focusing in. We've got a little bit of trouble down there though. Joshua Billeter right now crashed in. The number 23 coming to a dead halt. Something gone wrong down there for him and the crew. Bit of a wild race out of the gate here in Michigan. A lot of guys just struggling to avoid cars and avoid trouble. And apparently, I think it's turn 2. It's giving them the most headaches here. Here's what happened here. Came out of turn 2. This time, actually, no one helped him. Billeter just completely lost it. Kind of flat spotted in. The car just could not center or recoup. That's a tough break there for him and the crew, obviously. That's not what he wanted to do, not what he wants to have happen here, obviously. There's still a lot of racing to be had, of course, but right at this moment, things get a little bit more tough out on the track. And the one thing I do worry about is if we get to a green-white checkered finish here, are these guys going to be able to stay out of trouble and stay out of problematic zone? Track's starting to dry up a little bit here. Obviously, folks getting a little bit more under control, a little bit more in rep. Problem right now, I feel as though, is that this track is starting to really give a little bit of a tougher angle, tougher spot to really work off of. But I think if anything, really what it boils down to is, can you focus more on controlling your car and controlling your own destiny rather than trying to put yourself in a bad spot, in a bit of a bad predicament. I think those are right now staying in the back here, kind of staying out of trouble. I think they're the ones that really being the smartest of the crew. Remember, it's maybe a memorial race, but you still treat it like a very serious race, obviously, because that is the one thing they're all about. They want to try and make the best showing for themselves and their team, but I think more than anything, they would love to have just a little say or something about winning at Michigan, because this is one of the toughest tracks, obviously, to get it done on. Double filing them up once again here. Field ready to fire them back in, of course. I know a lot of folks at home probably are still watching the Xfinity race going on at the moment here. Can't blame them, obviously. I know there's a lot of big names in there at Phoenix ready to showcase what they can do and fire everything they can in. By the way, for those at home that are watching right now on their television or their cell phones or their laptops, wherever you guys are watching the race at, or whether this race or that race, what do we got going on down there? Who do we got for our top four? Because I said in my comments, when I was tweeting about this, I said I think AJ Allmendinger is going to end up taking the Xfinity one home, but I'm seeing a lot of Hemrick love right now actually going on. He's never won on NASCAR's end, but right now it sounds like he's actually having a pretty good race showcase for him, so good on him, but gotta keep your eye out on that number 9 of Noah Gragson around here. He'll definitely be tough to beat, but as we bring it to the green flag again, we'll see who is the true contender and the true driver around these parts. Dylan McDonald, well, he had trouble going to the back, going up to the front once again. Well, no issues here. 38 is in second, looking for the race lead. Gene Cato opening the door up slightly there. You see him having to turn in pretty hard there off of turn 2. You lose a lot of momentum the more you turn around these parts. He's getting a great opening here as a Coco Melon 38 machine looking to try and sneak his way around. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it says, is Coco Melon. Firing him off down on the back, on the front straightaway here as well. Now you see the 51 of Derek Sherman. He's starting to make a few heads turn here. He's started way back in the pack, now firing him off. Started dead last, now moving in 5. He's up in 8, 3 wide, stood right in front of him though. This is really a no man's land spot. You don't know where to go. Do you go to the middle, try to get a draft, or you go to the bottom, try to push up forward, or you try to stay on the outside line and see if there is a little bit more run up there, obviously, because you don't have to let off the throttle nearly as much. It's kind of a catch-22. You just, there's really no right answer. It's only really what you feel is the best call. And in this case, may have been the best call for him in the crew because he was able to sneak his way in. Firing him off down around out of turns. Number 1 and 2 here. Still 3 wide saloon back there. Number 44 of John Nobinger kind of pushing his name in. A little bit of a loosey-goosey cannon there for that 23, Joshua Billiter right now trying to stay out of trouble. And I know I'm messing up on his name tonight, but I think it's Billiter. But Billiter, man, he just keeps finding himself in like the worst ends or the worst spots. Yeah, he somehow stays out of trouble. Full credit where credit's due to him and the crew, man. Doing a great job staying in line. Down to a 3 wide suit on the front straightaway once again here. Gene Cato going to the outside. Meanwhile, Joshua Billiter kind of firing in. The 51 there, Derek Sherman starting to move the chains though. He's got a whole lot of run coming up. You can see just how loose though These rear ends are getting on the track. They gotta stay more in line, stay more in compact territory to stay out of trouble. It's a dangerous spot down there to find yourself in if that thing gets the slightest bit off. Laps will now start to click away. Time elapsing, time starting to run out on the track. Brock Savalti, 1097, yeah, and he was having a good run earlier, and then he found himself trapped between a rock and a hard place, and then he has managed to bring it all back and into end of the fight. But can he do it for the majority of this race? This is a big moment for him and the crew, obviously, if he can do it here. Moving in, Chris Hupka, the number 5, up 7 right now. He's marching the charge, but look back up front here. Look out. Here comes Dylan McDonald. I think he might be trying to head to McDonald's because he's saying, can I get a run to the lead? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Well, Kevin Foster says, no, sir, you're not allowing you have any service around here. You go back to the end of the line, sir. Well, apparently McDonald didn't like that too much. He says, "No, I want a McFlurry, I want a McDouble, and I'm gonna get myself up to you if that's and that's nothing to say. They're trouble." Meanwhile, in the back here, a little bit mid-pack zone. Brock Savalti, the 97, up top with the 0-1 of Patrick Cooney, kind of pushing him down towards the top side. Again, you saw earlier on, though, one wrong move on that top end, and you could be finding yourself between an even worse spot than a rock and a hard place. So much ground to gain, so much ground to give. Look up here, Joshua Billiter. He had no Binger to deal with. Now he's going to try. Oh, look out. Oh, scatter. Try to back him down. No, the 2's going to get crashed right into the 5 of Chris Upka. No caution, though. Colliding down there on the back straightaway. No caution given. That was a bit of a rough spot there, a little bit of a rough edge to be kind of find yourself in. We'll take it down to the P2 Mr. Replay. Look at this from another angle because I feel like that could have been evaded with a little bit of work here, but let's see. Right there, you see McDonald getting into it. Unfortunately, no Binger in them, and then the 2 trying to evade but could not get out of the way, and that unfortunately was a real tough spot. Let's take a look at this from one more camera angle here. Watch the 23 of Billiter, and then watch that 44 of No Binger. McDonald's up top side. That's really a tough spot to be in if something happens. Billiter gets crossed over there from No Binger. No Binger ends up smacking into McDonald. Meanwhile, the 2 tries to stay out of trouble and stay out of harm's way. Could not seem to escape. Ends up finding himself in a bit of trouble as well. And unfortunately for Gene Cato and Chris Hupka, both drivers had to find themselves in the outhouse and having to find their way to get back up to the White House. What a tough break for both guys. Obviously, they did not want that to happen in any way, shape, or form. It's going to put them a little bit of a disgruntled situation. You never be too sure around here, though, on Pizza Race TV. Anything can happen. About halfway completed with this race here in the 44 John No Binger. currently being in a pretty tight situation here, a little rough edge, and Derek Sherman kind of moved his way up pretty quickly with Ricky Gonzalez now kind of firing off with some badly damaged number 7 on that Chevrolet Silk City machine. That's got to be one of the hardest spots to really find yourself in, knowing you've been pretty much hit hard, hit badly, and the car just cannot seem to keep out of trouble and out of sight and out of mind. Ricky Gonzalez falling worse off the pace. Again, the aerodynamics. Once that car takes a hit or takes a beating there, it just completely ruins your flow, the even control. That's the worst spot to find yourself in for a multitude of reasons because, again, we've heard it before for Kevin Harvick and them, where they've said that, like, point blank, that you have to really keep yourself away from damaging a piece of equipment up as heavy as these 2-ton Cup cars. And these Cup cars they really evolve around that aerodynamic dependency and that control that they possess. Without it, it really just kind of sets yourself off into a bad place and a bad run. That's really the kind of no man's land of driving. Many fans at home have said before that they do love it though when these Cup cars come onto the track. They love seeing a good battle when they pop up, and they like seeing what they can do. Well, hate saying it, but come tomorrow night, honestly, that will be the last time we do see these Cup cars in action. It'll be the last time we see them on the track. It's kind of I think it's kind of fitting for me anyway that I'm being able to call these Gen 6 devices here as well on a track that really has been kind of laid down in history as one of the best, but also one of the most disappointing tracks that now have been kind of tortured and abused here when it comes to what they used to present. Obviously, though, this track has more than its fair share of merits in history. There is one thing that we do want to be aware of as well. I said earlier on about Indy cars. Many fans that grew up in that generation grew up in that world from IndyCar and IRL when it was around. This was actually pretty much the track and the site of the US 500, which was a 500-mile long race for the IndyCar drivers. And during that first race, actually, probably for the latter better part of the word, was not exactly the best start to any kind of racing event, but because, well, everybody didn't even get off the line when they started the race. They all were wrecking each other out and crashing right out of the gate before they even got to the green because they were trying to get the tires warmed up, and they forgot that the guys were a little too close to one another. So it ended up being a bit of a troubleshoot, but thankfully after that they were able to get some solid racing in, some solid moments, and some good battles. IRL, much of the same here, obviously, but kind of is crazy how much things have changed in the landscape with this track and with these playing fields. Obviously not in any car. Obviously, any car and NASCAR, completely two different ideas and cultures, but still a little bit of a fun fact I felt. And anyway, just kind of talk about the circumstances, the work that has come forth with the tracks in these races, and you can see now even a little bit of maneuvering. You would say normally I would have seen an open wheel, now done with a stock car of all things. As Dylan McDonald here with a tremendous amount of speed in the Coco Melon, number 38. Trying to dig deep, trying to pass all these guys in. Looking for a strong runoff here, there on the number 23 of Joshua Billiter. Kevin Foster, number 8, is your race leader at the moment. Just passing the halfway point, kind of getting himself more in the playing field of finishing this race out on his own terms. For Dylan McDonald, though, he's not trying to finish on his own terms. He's just trying to get his lap back. I'm not sure if that comment he made earlier on was probably the smartest one to do, because now he finds himself in the same spot, in the same bad position. And Chris Hupka is in the same boat, unfortunately, but he is moving the chains. Back on board here as we look at the number 7, Ricky Gonzalez. Gonzalez here at the moment, marching through the field here with a badly damaged car on the left side and the right side a little bit beat up, but that left is really where the biggest problem, in my opinion, is going to be, because again, that's what kind of helps get the car to turn in, while the right side is more designed to build up the run and build off the control that is delivered on the left side. Obviously, the right sides take a lot more beating and abuse for the tires limit. As we've noted before here on Pizza Race TV, it's usually that right front you got to be very, very aware of and very careful of, because if you overdo it too much, it's going to cost you dearly. Wes Fuller here going to be engaged here at number 35 by the 7 of Ricky Gonzalez. Gonzalez really kind of relying a little bit on that pit strategy, and also relying on the wear and tear of that front end. That's kind of his saving grace right now, to try to even keep up with the pace here. The aerodynamics of the car are the only thing left saving these drivers out from one another. Michigan International Speedway, again, is a big track, obviously 2 miles in length. It is the third biggest track, size-wise, that they run on the NASCAR series. Auto Club Speedway, 2 miles in length as well, designed pretty much as a one-for-one copy, if you will, of Michigan International Speedway down there in Fontana, California. But it's obviously not really going to be a 2 mile long track anymore. That will be changed to a full, I believe it's a 1 mile short track to be designed up there. Going to be interesting to see what comes out of it and what they can bring into the table with that track layout and that track design. But it was kind of overdue, because unfortunately, the way NASCAR and the way the open wheel car series are these days, a lot of folks have kind of agreed to disagree that they're just, it's not worth trying to run there anymore, or run with that kind of stuff. Even for Michigan wise, Indy cars and open wheel cars don't really race here anymore either. Variety of reasons on that too, but in our case here, obviously we're watching more or less the stock cars back in the days to now, and to our now new generation. Always present and always on the run, trying to observe and find new ways to race out with the best of them. Chris Hopka at the number 5 here, and the number 2 here, Gene Cato, trying to march their way up from the leaderboards. This is just a great showing of just how much speed you can build up from a fresh car and a fresh set of tires. They were originally got damaged up badly on the back straightaway due to a little mental error by the guys, but in this case, everyone's been pretty clear and very well aware of what happened and how to get around it. The ultimate question is now, can they start finding each other and start working with each other to get back on the lead lap? They are only one position down. Excuse me, they're currently 1 lap down of the main leaders, and Kevin Foster hasn't exactly given them a break or any chances on taking that away anytime soon. Gene Cato, number 2, kind of diving up a little bit. Seems to be drafting off the bike. May have been listening in on my little conversation I just said about there a second ago. Seems to be getting the big picture and the bright idea here. We'll see if that lasts out well enough for him and if it will play out perfectly enough. Lax tipsy of 100. We're down to about the final 48 laps to go here, and Foster pretty much in a clean state, clean runoff. Nothing but clean air and fresh going for him. That's exactly what he wants to see. That's exactly what he needs to see. He does not need to worry about anything other than himself at this moment. McDonald, the number 38, obviously a lap down at the moment, still trying to stay on the proverbial shark tank, if you will, of getting back on the lead position, back on the lead change. But unfortunately, the speed of even Kevin Foster just absolutely tremendous here. Hard to pass him, hard to really get around him. You can just see how tight he is with him and how close he is. And again, McDonald has a little bit of a fresher set there when it came to that pit road strategy. As you take a look now, a little hard to tell, obviously, but in this case, we could show you kind of pretty obviously what you're seeing here. It was the lap counter and how many positions they've been at here. And Foster finally going in. McDonald's will follow in from behind. So that will give Patrick Cooney, John Nobinger a chance to either go into pit road, or they can try and take a really big chance and lay it out just another lap or two. But nope, they're going to go in now and try to take their full chances. I like this pit strategy and kind of staying well aware of what they're doing, where they're at on track, because again, these laps are long, they are hard to master and navigate when things get just a little bit more upseen, a little harder to figure out. Derek Sherman, though, he's going to be the only one that's going to try and take that strategy and take into full advantage here. He takes over the race lead. We have ourselves, for the first time tonight, a new leader in a while anyway. I mean a new lead, and I mean for the first time tonight, being that he is the only driver that has the ultimate hard charger and the race leader, considering he was literally started back in the qualifying spot at 13th and now taking the race lead. I would certainly put my bets on that would probably be a good spot on for the charger of the night in this case. But we shall see, obviously, because again, still a lot of laps to complete. Joshua Billator right now keeping pace, keeping his distance at Hope and at bay, but Kevin Foster right behind him here, trying to gain up on him, trying to knock him down a few pegs. Billator passed in there by Foster. Foster taking full advantage of his new set of tires and his newfound strength here. Making everything last out the way he wants it to, and making it seem like it's all too easy for him and his crew here. Suffice it to say here, obviously he wants nothing more than to take full advantage and full key of the positions here. Knows he's got to catch Sherman quickly, though, if he wants to regain the lead. About a 5.7 difference. Sherman a lot slower, obviously. It looks like he's trying to save his fuel and tires more for the full run later on. But is that enough in this case here, as he drives up a little bit too close to that wall, I would say, for my own safety. Knowing me, I probably would have smacked that wall and destroyed every piece of my car. Knowing how bad I drive these things around this track. I was actually driving it just a little while ago, and I'll tell you one thing, it got difficult down there. When the track started to burn off my tires and everything, it was kind of tricky to figure out how to stay in play and stay in balance. The car just wouldn't do it sometimes. As now you see, obviously, Gene Cato and Chris Hupka, they both have returned to the lead lap here. Again, they were pitting into pit road earlier on to get damage fixed up and have somewhat of a chance here, but now they're really using that draft as their key advantage. They're trying to make two perform as one. You may be wondering, alright, why are they doing that? Why don't they just try to battle each other for position or a spot? Well, again, like I said earlier with that draft line, it actually is kind of a push and saving grace. The more one pushes from the rear to get, while the other controls the front, it actually is a way to just kind of adding a slight bit more momentum, and the more horsepower you can put into these cars, the better off you are. Only downside though is the more horsepower can also get you a little bit loose and a little more stacked in. So you really have to kind of rely on some tricks and some old tactics to stay ahead of the field and stay ahead of position. And Dylan McDonald, he knows that all too well. Or should he anyway? Oh no, he's not saving this one. Joshua Billiter spins it on the back straightaway. Oh boy. No caution thrown yet. But Billiter's run in second place came to an end. There's the caution. There's the caution. And Dylan McDonald, I'm not sure what all that was about, but unfortunately for Joshua Billiter, he found himself on the receiving end of another one. McDonald, you're going to see him give a little bump there off of turn 2. It didn't look like it was intentional. McDonald looked like he was trying to help get out of there, and unfortunately, the car did not take too kindly to that. And for Billiter, he ends up finding himself in the worst place at the wrong time. We'll take a look at the onboard camera here. You're just going to see it over and over, folks. It's just extremely difficult to get yourself out of this spot and out of that place because, again, you're trying to outrun and outpace everyone. But you can see he's just trying to save it. He was already gone. His car was trying to steer in and around. There was no getting away from it. There's nothing. What do you mean? What are you gonna do? Well, that was your P2 minutes of replay. And apparently I'm still having, oh, I guess I was having some technical difficulties. Looks like we finally got the Tower of Doom to pop up when it's supposed to. Derek Sherman, though, I gotta believe, is pretty thrilled about his circumstances here. He was the one that went into pit road last, and now he's given a golden opportunity to choose his destiny, his own fate. Does he go in for one more time, just get the rest of his fuel out of the way and put a fresh set of tires on there, or does he decide to stay out and hopefully outsmart the field on the long, long run? But again, since everybody already went into pit road, I'm not so sure I really agree with kind of trying to stay out and trying to work in like that. I think I would have gone into pit road in this case and at least taken some fuel and some tire. Instead of tires, I would have at least taken fuel. So I feel like right now, the way we're looking at it, it looks like you got about a good 20, 30 laps of fuel in there, so you really have to work off that. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a change up here, folks. We had earlier on, before this caution just came out, we had a good long green flag stint, and it ended up being more of a pack racing style, until they started spreading apart, and then that big issue was coming from that wreck circumstance that ended up causing everybody to stop back for a second, drop back into place. So now, what do these drivers do? They know they're running up on the final 30 laps here. They know they are in a bit of a bad angle here if they start to drive in a little too hard. They can't just overdo the throttle. They can't underdo themselves either, though. They have got to stay more under the goal line, under control of each other. That could play in to a lot of other situations here, a lot of more circumstances. Nevertheless, so as they lead them off the charge, the back straightaway, Kevin Foster is going to be your race leader, while Chris Hupka, even give credit where credit's due to the man. He literally had a fight for this one to get back into the spot. Same for him and Gene Cato. Those guys, you got to say it to believe it, but man, they literally worked from the outhouse back up to the White House. This is the top spot. Now they must seize the moment and seize opportunity. Which one will it be? Off of corner 4, they will swing him down. We're going to have 29 laps left to run. Somebody is walking away with a W. To the green flag we go at the Jay Cook Memorial Race. Lining him up out of corner turn 1, down turn 2 they go. Chris Hupka, the number 5 machine, firing off onto the back straightaway here. Gene Cato managing to sneak his way ahead, but now they both have to face the ultimate challenge of taking down Kevin Foster. We know Foster's fast, but I don't think Foster is going to be feeling too comfortable here, knowing that he's going to find himself in a bit of a bad angle here. Rough shot him out of turn 4, almost 3 wide slip there between Billiter, Cato, and Hupka. Meanwhile, Patrick Cooney now kind of intervening a little bit. The 0-1 machine back into the fray. Kind of that shades of General Lee style vibes of the Dukes of Hazzard. Trying to rock them Daisy Dukes up to the front and make sure them boys are looking, because he's got one cooking. On board here with West Florida here. He currently sees the opportunity to fight it out with some of these guys. We can just see as well how much turning he's having to do on this track, trying to stay out of trouble and stay out of rhythm. It's definitely a bit of a rough shot, an elongated area to find yourself in that place. You don't want to get too trapped or too off the pace, if you will. You got to find more of that run later on. Looks like they're going to try and stay in the draft. That's going to be their goal. This is where things get a little crazier, though, trying to pack on them in. This is going to be our battle for the race lead. Coming up on the final 25 laps to go. Kevin Foster, the number 8, is your race leader. But does he have enough time this time? Because he's going to have a lot of guys using the draft, using their keys to their advantage point. And how hard he's cornering down and firing off here. He's trying to get out of that mess. A clean slate on the 7, allowing him to really push back up there. Same for Savalti in the number 97. Down the back straightaway, they push him in, now leading off through turns number 3 and 4. Everyone looking for opportunities, looking for a way to go ahead. Any game plans, any moves you want to do, you better figure them out now before it's too little too late. Oh, that's going to be trouble down there. Back straightaway. Look out. Nobinger in the 44 gets into a bit of a whirlwind typhoon spin. And he ends up crashing badly down on the back straightaway. Oh, boy. Could not get out of that one. I'm not sure where everything went wrong there. I was not even paying attention. We were just kind of looking in towards the other drivers here. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, it's just that tight, close back corner racing, unfortunately. Once again, if you get caught in the pack, you just find yourself in 2 spots. Either you end up in the wrecked place, or you end up finding yourself on the receiving end of it. Valti and Cooney getting into it. No Binger just kind of muscling his way around here. We'll take one look at Savalti's camera angle here when he was going right in for the kill switch here. And if I'm the number 7 as well, I gotta be considering myself a little bit lucky here, because that could have been extremely close to disaster for him and that crew, but thankfully that was not the circumstance there, and he ended up walking away clean and unscathed. So Derek Sherman decides to stay on out a little longer, so it looks like he's going to try to put some kind of strategy to good use. Meanwhile, down there in pit road here, everyone trying to get some kind of center position here. Leading him off, Foster once again will get out of pit road the first. Upka, Billiner, Fuller will bring it out, as well as No Binger. No Binger will be back out on the track. Everyone gonna have to stay online, on charge, get back for the racing lead. And I'm getting word as well right now from our boys down there at Phoenix. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of circumstance there. 20 laps to go. Unfortunately, my boy that I chose, AJ Allmendinger, finds himself on the receiving end of the old troubles of a spin. Man, that kind of stinks too, because that was my pick to win this all. So, AJ, hopefully you're here. If you ever hear this, man, really still always love you and having you around, brother. So hopefully we will see you very, very soon with a win sooner or later. Double filing him up once again and really rolling off on our final laps here. There will be 21 to go here at Michigan. Makes you wonder too just how much more is left in these guys, much less their fuel runs, much if anything else. How much left do they have in themselves? They find themselves either in a receiving end in a bad spot, or just ended up in a charge or two. But there's one thing we know that I've learned from hearing about the stories from Jay Cook, is that he has never given up on himself or any of the friends or family out there, and neither do these guys here. And that's why they are always hanging around to the very end of this. These guys will not quit. They will not give up. They know their late great friend, obviously, was always as tough as nails for that reason. And you're seeing just how much they will do to the very end of it all. One more lap around here, looks like. Not quite ready to go just yet. They want to give McDonald a fair shake here and a fair chance. They want to bring him back around. So it will be 20 to go via the restart. Also, folks, remember, as I'm recording this here on November 6th, 2021, daylight savings time is tomorrow. So set your clock back an hour, not forward an hour. Set it back an hour. You're gonna get yourselves an hour of sleep, and believe me when I say it, I can use all the sleep I can get. My job for being working 4 a.m. to whenever I can get out of there. Oh boy, needs all the sleep I can get. Here we come now, down and around town we go. Bring him back onto the fight, back onto the show. Alpha corner 4. The 51 of Derek Sherman will be your leader. He shows everyone the way. He says, let's see where this one plays. 20 laps remain here in the Jay Cook Race Memorial. Joshua Billiter on the number 23 going up top ahead of Chris Hupka. Hupka trying to dangle it down on the bottom lane. Kevin Foster right behind them both, looking for any openings he can. Foster has a fresh set of tires. He got a cleaner car on his end. Meanwhile, Sherman knows that he has only got one thing really to use, and that is his bumpers and his blocking. Can he do that though? Does he have time to get it done? It's a lot at stake here. There's a lot of craziness that can happen in between. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to be focusing. He's going to have to be dead set on making sure he works it. There he goes down to the bottom lane now. Foster looking for the ideal run off. He's got the inside. Going to look for the charge. He's got it locked in. He's got it locked up. Sherman trying to hold him off on the middle section, but the bottom shelf says no way, Jose, and brings it right back up to the top. New leader once again. Foster reclaiming the lead. He feels like he should not have lost. But as we all know around here, if you want to stay in that place, you want to stay in that same run, then you've got to keep working for it to the very end of it. Oh, hold up. A little trouble down there for Zavalti. Zavalti finding himself in a bit of a bad spot there in turn 1. Got swung loose, but he manages to bring it back. Great save on his end. We remain green. 3 wide, slow mixed in. Hupka and Obinger getting around that 51 of Sherman. Still 3 wide, leading him down in. Sherman backing a few of these guys off and backing him down a little bit, if you will. Everyone trying to evade, trying to avoid and stay out of trouble. Coming around yet again through turn 2. And still no one able to evade and escape. Hupka maybe looking to gain some ground clearance, gain some runoff on these guys here, looking for some openings or two. But at the moment, unless you can find a way to get around Kevin Foster, no one's going to walk away with this one other than him. 16 to go. The 8 of Kevin Foster, absolutely perfection tonight in his race and in his runs. 23 of Billiter, though, has done a great job hanging in there and doing everything he can to stay in this pace. Nobinger trying to make one last dash pass, if you will, maybe setting him up. Is there enough time? Is there enough strength in his car? And there enough power and the speed of the hood to do it? It's a very troublesome area. It's a very tough lounge to be had at with Michigan. But if you know your right place and the right time to strike, you go for it all. Hupka kind of hanging back there as well. Hupka found himself in a bit of a wrong end, if you will, earlier on when he got involved in that little wreck here on the same back straightaway. Oh no, not again! No! Wes Fuller goes for the ride there in the 35 coming out of turn 2. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wes Fuller, oh my goodness, got way too hard in the corner and just yet again found himself in the wrong end of the spectrum, in the wrong place at the wrong time once more. It's just, you'd realize how much they want to fight it out, how much they want to win it so badly, but again, there's nothing you can do in this circumstance except just hope for the best, and unfortunately, there was just no getting around it. The car was already sideways, just completely backed into a corner. Hupka could not get out of there. Fuller could not do anything about it. He just only could drive it in and hope for the best, and that was not what he hoped. Take a look at the replay again. Just look at this. You watch him drive in hard here in the middle section.
Everything seems fine. Then just got caught down there. Nobeer wouldn't let him go any lower, and obviously Helpko is kind of right behind them, trying to charge in and challenge him up, and end up getting the receiving end of it all. Seventh caution of the night, and this one definitely is going to force drivers to go into pit road and get centered away. We knew that was going to happen. What I didn't know though was that it was going to end up being kind of played out this way. Whoa, Kato going to have to get into pit road there a little bit better. He's found himself in a bad spot. We'll see who gets out of pit road first here. Everyone trying to hurry up. One's getting moving here. I think that is Derek Sherman. It is Derek Sherman. Uh-oh. He beats out Kevin Foster here. So now Foster once again is going to have to find a way around Sherman. And remember, Sherman was blocking pretty good there for those couple of laps he had. I think that could play out to be a bit of his advantage here. Kind of a bit of a change up in the spot. That is going to be a very, very up for deal and a very interesting circumstance here, to say the least. How well will that play out? How is that going to be for Foster? Because again, as I say that, it looks like I was going to say, look, I'm pretty sure Sherman had beat him out, but as we're going to fall back a little bit, the 51 is not quite ready to come out yet. It looks like he goes a little premature coming out of pit road. He says, no, I got problems down here, so I need to get them fixed. So I thought, honestly, he was going to push Foster back even more and have to hold him back on the run. Does not play out the same way he was hoping for, but they'll double file him up for the restart. This restart, they'll have 11 to go. And somebody's going to end up walking away with this race win. They will bring him back around the track. They will bring him into position. Who is the one to win it all? 11 laps remain. Billiter, if he's going to get around Foster, he needs to get a good start here. Needs to get a good run off. Savalti, he's going to need to really manage this one down. Off the restart zone, here they come off yet again, and now they will reel them back down onto the front straightaway. Foster with a good run, and I believe I've been saying Savalti's name wrong the whole time. I think it's Savalti, not Savalti, not Savalti. Savalti, I think is his actual name. So if it is your name, man, I apologize. I realize I know he's told me before that I've said his name wrong. I think I keep saying his name wrong again here tonight. So Savalti, if I'm saying it wrong, man, I'm sorry. Whoa, I don't think it's going to be sorry about this one, though. 7 of Richie Gonzalez into the grassy plains. Opens up his own lawn care service. Oh, man, just found himself on the wrong end yet again. Can't seem to get away from this stuff. What a tough break there for Savalti. What a tough break they're getting into Savalti there. Savalti, I don't believe by any means was trying to hit him there. Coming off the clutches of a turn 2 right now, Billiter doing everything he can to get some momentum onto Foster. He knows the only thing that's saving him now is that draft. And number 8 machine, that's the only thing giving him any chance here. Oh no, there might be more. No, he saves it. Nicely done by Patrick Cooney. That car was completely gone there. He manages to save it and bring it back on all fours. Pretty impressive if you ask me, but how much damage did that do to the 4 sets of tires on that car? Because again, that thing got really tore up and taken for a ride there. You'll have to make up the pace, make up the ground here, and the clearance coming up very so quickly. The number 2, Gene Cato now trying to hang in there. Joshua Billiter going right up there to Foster. We've got ourselves a 3-car battle for the race lead, and we have 8 laps to go this time by. Coming across here, look at this. Billiter throws a haymaker. Foster was not able to hold him back. 7 remain. Foster is in trouble. He's got 3 guys right now literally marching his way in and fighting off on all cylinders. This is what this is the battles that we talk about in Michigan. These are what you call historic racing and tough racing at its finest and its best. Whoa, Hupka and Savatzi into the back wall protection. Savatzi trying to stay out of trouble yet again. He found himself there earlier, trying to get himself off the run. But Foster spot Billiter. He dumps him out of turn 3 and 4. Oh. Foster catches Billiter, but unfortunately it was the wrong place at the wrong time. And for Billiter now, oh my goodness, he's going to have a lot of work to do to get that car even remotely in shape to hang in there. Let's take a look at the replay. I may have judged too soon. We can't say for sure. Foster had a huge run. But good Lord Almighty. The 23 just could not get ahead enough and finds himself just completely jammed in the middle of this one. That was a huge, tough break there for him in that case, and we'll take a look at it from our angle. This just goes to show you how close and tight this one was. Again, Foster had no choice. He had to drive in hard to keep up with him, but he may have drove in a little too hard. Ended up smack dab in the middle of nowhere and trouble zone. And the 23, Billiter heads into pit road. This is pretty much leaning more towards a green, white checker finish, so those that are staying out are really watching for it here. They're going to have to watch themselves and really hope for the best and stay out of trouble and stay out of a problematic zone. Just got word as well from our boys down in Phoenix. Daniel Hemrick actually just won the Xfinity Series championship. That's his first win ever too, and he literally just won it in the championship race. Okay, I will admit I chose Allmendinger as my guy to pick. I wasn't thinking too much about Hemrick, but I guess I gotta bite my lip and bite my tongue, cause wow. Congratulations to Daniel Hemrick on his first win and the championship. What a way to do it, that's to say the least. So we know who won the Xfinity Series and we know who won the Truck Series. We'll have to see who wins Cup tomorrow night. I've still got my vote on Larson, so don't come at me on anything else. But I will say right now, we still have a big race to finish out around here as well. And the only way to do that is to just keep punching the laps in and get this one finished out. There it is, double filing them up. Pace truck lights are off. This next time by, they will let them loose with 3 laps remaining. You hear drivers kind of revving the motors up. They're getting ready to go. Gino Cato being one of them. Boy, he's going to have a lot of work to do here. A lot to stay focused on. A lot of chances to be had. Same can be said for Joshua Billiter in that 23 machine. He found himself into a bad pickle earlier with Kevin Foster. Has to put that beside him and try to literally find a way to finish this race out. For Derek Sherman, he's going to have to give it everything he's got left in that car to get to this top spot. And Savati, same can be said for him. But nevertheless, one of these drivers is going to end up walking away with the W here tonight in this Jay Cook Memorial Race down at Michigan International Speedway. Brooklyn, Michigan is on their feet. They're going to stand in tall for these final 3 laps. Who walks away with the W? Who walks away with the win? We find out now. Green flag charging ahead. It's time to finish this race up. Off a corner, 1 and 2. Look at Foster. Oh my lord, he's already charging quick. Got a little loose coming off though, but he builds it back up, fighting him down. Derek Sherman, though, his pit strategies have always been about the long-term usage, and now he's using every bit of it. Foster maybe on a short-term run, but this is a long-term basis for Sherman. Down on the inside, down the front on the Foster, but they wreck right behind him. Billiter yet again, and Nilbinger getting into it. Oh no. Coming to the 2 to go moniker, and the 23 of Billiter and Nilbinger get into it here. And we have 2 green-white checkered attempts coming up, but first let's find out what happened here. This is the worst place to find yourself in it. This is the worst luck to get caught up into. Nilbinger getting smack dab into the wall there and actually took the 7 of Gonzalez out, and Bittler just pretty much got his tongue bit in half and bit in 2 because he couldn't get out of that mess there. We'll take one look at it from Billiter. Take a look from Billiter's angle here as well as the Nilbinger's angle. See the roof, you can see the flaps still doing a good job keeping the cars from going airborne or anything like that, but that doesn't mean it stops them from spinning, unfortunately. We have not figured out how to figure that part of the track out yet. This is the Maddie's onboard camera here. You can see right here when Gonzalez gets taken out. Great driving on his end. Very calm and patient to stay out of trouble. Didn't really take any damage there other than maybe that little clip he had earlier on, but still is a little piece of the track, if you will, and of the cars. Derek Sherman will remain your race leader, though Foster did not get ahead of him, so with the green-white checkered, all he needs is 2 good laps. And this one can wrap up and take it home. For Foster right now, he's got one thing on his mind, that's stabilizing it in. So this is their last ditch effort, their last oppositions and chances here. So much craziness and so much hard racing in between. Now all leads down to this. But who is the one to finish this race out? Who is the one who takes it in stride, takes it on home? The lights are off on the pace truck. The drivers now focus back in. They're going to have to keep a close eye on that restart here, because that's really the only thing that's separating them from victory and defeat. They got two chances at these green-white checkers here. If they mess that up, then it's game over no matter how they look at it. Derek Sherman will be on the outside. Kevin Foster will be on the inside here. One of these guys is going to take this one home and finish this race out with the best of intentions. We've lost a lot of guys here tonight. Nobinger, Wes Fuller, Ricky Gonzalez, Willie Abraham, Mark Gonzalez are out of this one, leaving only this field behind. Someone's got to walk away with a W, though, as we bring it back to the green-white checkered finish restart. Green this time, white next time around. Dylan McDonald actually took a look at this. He's actually, I completely forgot about him. He's also in this hunt now, too. Kevin Foster, the A-Machine, trying to hammer in and trying to keep both of them back behind him. McDonald's going to use the draft and hope for a little bit of help. Billeter bringing all the momentum down across the back straightaway to hang in there. Whole lot of runoff, whole lot of momentum coming up. Green trades in for white. We're going to get the white flag out this time. Bye. Whatever happens, happens. There is no more cautions. Foster trying to seize an opportunity, seize a chance here. He knows his last-ditch effort is going to be on that back straightaway. Billeter knows he's only going to have one more chance too. Sherman makes a mistake. He ends up driving too hard off. He doesn't have any more speed. Foster got him. Billeter is going to get one more chance. If he can somehow draft him into turn 3 and 4, send it down. He might have a chance to catch him. Off of turn 3 into turn 4, though, that's not going to be. Kevin Foster will lead the charge and take the win at Michigan. And a huge victory there for the number 8. Kevin Foster walks away with a W and a victory. The Jay Cook Memorial belongs to him. But it was not without a little tribute and salute to his fallen brother and his fallen friend. A big race moment there for him and the crew, and a big win, to say the least, here at Michigan for him and all the crew here. A tremendous finish to the end for all drivers involved, but nevertheless, that is how we finish this one out. There it is. The burnouts down in Michigan. Old Motown gonna have a little bit of fun with this one. Little celebration down there for him and the crew. Obviously, he's going to be enjoying this one for some times. He'll remember this one, though, for a long, long time. Let's take a look at our race results, presented in part by, of course, tonight, the Jay Cook Memorial. Kevin Foster here wins it. Second goes to Joshua Billeter. Third to Derek Sherman. Fourth to Dylan McDonald. Fifth to Gene Gato. Sixth to Patrick Coney. Seventh to Brock Savati. 8th going to Chris Hupka, 9th to John Nobinger, 10th going to Ricky Gonzalez, 11th to Wes Fuller, 12th to Willie Everham, 13th Mark Gonzalez, rounding out your field of drivers. Now we await our top 3 here. Wait for the top 3 here. We'll give them the countdown clock now here. We'll take a look at our 3rd place finisher here though. Derek Sherman walking away with that one here, managing to pull off a tremendous finish there. Had a lot going on, a lot at stake obviously for him and the crew, but a good showing nevertheless. Of course, 2nd place though. What ended up going towards that field there as well with Joshua Billiter. Billiter had a tough road to even get into the spot, much less even find himself in that place. Yet somehow, some way, gets himself into the proverbial spot, if you will, that encompasses all that is holy. But unfortunately for him, Kevin Foster kind of knocked him down off that peg a few too many times tonight. So that pretty much wraps up the field and wraps up the track and the field here. Just waiting for the command from our drivers here. We'll see who joins me in here. We'll give them another minute or two. And then we're going to shut down the show here tonight. Obviously, this has been a long, hard road for these drivers. A lot of hard racing in between. A lot of guys putting up a great fight to the end, though. And out of it all, this is how it all plays down, and this one how it all finishes up. Just waiting on the queue right now. Let's just make sure these guys want to know that they can go interview or not. They will. They can join me here. Just takes a minute or two. Some of these guys do not have everything ready to go yet, like some do. So we'll see what they say here if they wish. Been a long road and a lot of hard racing here tonight. Again, Kevin Foster with a big victory here. Obviously, Billiter kind of the odd man out, finding himself in a bad place in the bad times, but nevertheless, he's put on a great show and put on a great time. And looks like we'll be joined in from our 3rd place finisher here tonight. Here, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Derek Sherman. And Sherman, what a long road you had here tonight. It looked like strategy was really playing out towards your favor, and then the cautions kind of started spewing in, and that's how it all played out for you and the crew.
Yeah, it happens. I just want to, first off, thanks to Joshua for putting it on and supporting his family, and Jay and all that. Sorry for their loss. But yeah, the cautions didn't go quite my way. Had a couple issues, and then try to play some strategy out. Just didn't have enough tire left, as even 2 tires would have probably won me the race. But Kevin was fast. He was fast all night, and I'm just happy to get a podium.
For sure there. I know you had a lot of stakes go into play, a lot of things kind of going in between here, but nevertheless walking away with a 2nd place finish here in a 3rd place finish, in the podium. So is there anybody you want to thank here tonight for that podium, sir?
Yes, I would like to thank Kevin, for showing me the line, and then I just want to thank you and Josh for putting us on and supporting a good cause.
I certainly appreciate coming on out and having a good time, as well as doing this for the cause. Congratulations, Sherman, on your podium finish. We certainly hope to see more of you in the future, sir.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there, Derek Sherman in the number 51. And now joining me here in victory lane, the number 8, that is Kevin Foster with the win and the W here tonight. Kevin, a lot of hard racing to the end, but you found yourself kind of in a very scary situation where you could have lost everything and then some, but somehow you managed to fight it out to the end, find a way to catch it all off, and you win this one here.
Uh, yes, couple hair-raising moments there in the towards the end of the race, but me and Josh got into it off of two or three. Sorry, going down into three. He came down a little bit. I might have drifted up a little bit. I'll take some blame on that. But luckily, the pit strategy there worked out. Restarted fifth with 2 laps to go, and tires mean so much here. And even just a couple laps on them, the new tires paid off. And valiant effort to Mr. Sherman for sticking out there. The first lap after the restart there with 1 to go, I was like, "There's no way he's gonna." He was pulling away a little bit, and then got tight and off of 2, and I was able to get underneath them and drive around for the victory.
Brought it around to the victory, making sure you used the tires to their fullest of advantages, and yet at the end of the day, you had a long, hard road to get here, but you will walk away with the win and the victory. I know this one definitely means a lot to you and your family and friends, as well as the people we represent here tonight. So, who do you want to thank you for that?
First off, big shout out to Mr. Josh Billiter for putting this on. Means a lot to him. He lost a dear family member, Mr. Jay Cook, and we're out here supporting him and his family. And we wished him the best of luck. They're in our thoughts and prayers. Hopefully we can make this an annual thing and do it every year and try to raise some money for a fantastic cause.
For sure there, and we certainly hope we've done the same here with you guys here tonight. Great showing and a great race to the very end of it all. So, what a night it has been. What a day it was for you and the crew. Congratulations here tonight, my friend.
Man, I just want to thank you guys for putting the race on. PTM Racing, it's amazing stuff what you guys do. Appreciate everyone out there watching, tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.
We certainly will indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, Kevin Foster. And as well, Derek Sherman getting a third place finish here tonight. And to Joshua Billiter, obviously, I know this one meant a lot to him and his crew, and he wishes not to be interviewed here tonight, but he does wish for a moment of silence. So for that will be how we end off our race here tonight. From all of us here at PT Racing TV, we thank you in large part to everyone that tuned in for the show and all that. We sign off tonight with this moment of silence for a dear friend and a lost comrade in Jay Cook. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we will see you next time.